Hi, this is Girum Zarg, and welcome back to my Dragon of Icespire Peak adventures. This is session 2. We went off to Gnomengarde in this session, and when we got to Gnomengarde, we were to search for a magic item and bring it back. Once we got there, we bumped into this I guess it was a gnomish woman. I'm not actually 100% sure. But she was in some sort of contraption, and that contraption fired arrows at us. And she thought we were there for target practice. I can't believe that. Well, we decided quickly to get away from her. And we started to look more at this Gnomengarde, or Gnomengarde. I actually don't know exactly what the name of the place was. Eventually we made it deeper into the gnome village, and we bumped into Fibblestib and Dabbledob. They were having an argument. They wanted to either create a sanity ray or a straitjacket, I think. Something to do with their kings. Their two kings were arguing with each other, and they hadn't come out of their room. And Fibblestib and Dabbledob thought that they were going crazy. I thought they were going crazy. I thought everyone was crazy, especially after meeting that old lady, the gnomish lady that was trying to use us as target practice. So we asked if Fane asked. She did most of the talking. She asked if we could go and have a word with the kings. And we knocked on the king's door, and they thought we were a shape changer. A shape changer. Us? Well, yeah, there might be some truth to that. You see, I've discovered not many people like goblins. I don't know why. We're so likable. We're so intelligent, and we can definitely trust us in battle. And so I've decided that whenever we go to a new location, I'm going to cast my disguise spell. See, I had known the Eldritch Invocation. I think it's called Many Masks or something like that, but it allows me to disguise myself whenever I want. And so I disguise myself as a gnome. And Fan, she knows Gnomish, so she was able to teach me a couple of words in gnome, so at least I could say hello. So we found out from the kings, the gnome kings, that there was a shape changer, and they thought that we were the shape changers. We reassured them that we weren't, but they didn't believe us. They wanted proof. So they told us to go look for the shape changer. So eventually, we ended up finding it, and it was by mistake too. It was disguising itself as a barrel. We located the wine cellar, I guess you would call it. There was a lot of barrels of wine. And we were investigating, and sure enough, Jargrass gets grabbed by the shape changer. It was actually a mimic. It wasn't a shape changer, it was a mimic. And the mimic just bit Jargrass. So there we were fighting this mimic amongst these barrels of wine. The wine was going everywhere. Jargrass couldn't get free, and that Clover, she cast her entanglement spell, and not only did it not affect the mimic, it got poor Jargrass all entangled. I think she needs to stop using that spell or practice it more. Hopefully not on me, but you know her. She'll probably use me as target practice. That tiefling. So Jargrass finally delivered the final blow, and the mimic was splattered all over the place, except when it died, it turned into an orc. Why would it be an orc? So the others, I guess they were able to piece it together. I had no clue. They thought it had something to do with magic. Magic being used in an evil way, I guess. And the one thing that I noticed was when I was attacked by the mimic, these lights were appearing around my head. I guess that's something to do with the magic. I just don't understand it. Maybe I'll find out more. But, so we were trying to examine this orc. There was a few gnomes. Not goblins, gnomes. A few gnomes, I'll get it straight. A few gnomes that were missing. And so I thought maybe we should investigate the orc. Maybe we can, look at its intestines and see maybe if it ate some of the gnomes. The others weren't too pleased with this suggestion, but how else could we prove what happened to the gnomes? So off I went to this grisly task, and it was smelly. I gotta tell you that. But eventually we were able to get enough in there. Sorry for the visual there, but and we discovered some remains of a gnome. So when we took the body back, well, actually, no one else wanted to touch the body, so I had to take the body back. And, oh boy, it was heavy. And so eventually we got back. We showed the body to the kings, and they believed us. And they rewarded us. We got a clockwork amulet, a magic hand, a wand, and a gnomish rod. That was from Fibblestib and Dabbledob. So it was nice to get those rewards, and we went back, out. We went to try to find a camp, and as we were finding camp, the gnomes came out and asked us if we would like to join them for dinner, which we did. By this time, though, my spell, my disguise self spell, was wearing off, so I told Fen and Goblin that we might have to be careful, because I had to cast disguise self after we killed the mimic, and my skin turned blue, and I didn't want to use any more spells because I didn't know what the consequences were going to be. And so Fen agreed that maybe we need to tell the gnomes that I'm actually a goblin. They didn't seem at first to mind. Then when we had dinner, and oh boy was dinner really, really yummy, but for some reason they started talking about selling me. That scared me. You see, when I was growing up in that cave where the goblins, I keep getting gnomes and goblins mixed up. It's because I got visited by my genie. It's hard to think straight, but I'll get into that in a bit. But back when I was growing up, goblins would get sold. It was typical. You were sold. I mean, can you believe that? You were treated like property. And here's my party talking about selling me. I couldn't hear anymore, and I ran away. And I got outside, and I found myself amongst, I guess, the hills and the rocks, and I just started to cry. I couldn't control myself. My goblins, when I grew up, my goblin clan would sell people. I didn't want to get sold, and now a party's trying to sell me. I don't think they like me. And then I have to keep having visits by my genie. Just terrible things to me. And I really don't want to fight this genie by myself. And as I was crying to myself, Jorgrass found me. And he convinced me that they were just joking. So I went back. We ended up making camp. When we spent the night, I went back into my amulet. But I got visited by my genie again. It did even more terrible things to me. I begged it to stop, but it wouldn't. And just when I thought I couldn't take anymore, it taught me things and made me stronger. It taught me the spells Mirror Image and Shadow Blade, and it gave me the Pact of the Talisman, which I gave to Jorgrass to protect him. Remember, I owe him a debt for saving my life when the Manticore attacked me. And we returned to Fandalin to collect our rewards, and we discovered that another party was also doing the quests that were posted. I think they did the Dwarven excavation mission. I think it was Fen and Clover both snatched up a couple of the jobs as new jobs were posted. And one was delivering supplies, and another was going to this orc camp. Maybe fighting it, maybe discovering more, because remember, that mimic was actually an orc. Maybe somehow that orc's connected to that orc camp or whatever it is. So we decided to take both of those jobs and investigate. And as we made our way out, I brought Jorgrass over, and it was very hard for me to ask him because he's done so much for me, but in the interests of the party, I thought maybe my vessel, that amulet where I live, maybe he should give it to Fen. You see, Fen knows Goblin, and Jorgrass and Clover don't. And it might be useful for me to be maybe in my amulet at some point, and I could talk to Fen in Goblin. Might get us out of a hairy situation. Maybe against these orcs. You never know. So Jorgrass was very kind to give the amulet, and Fen was very kind to take it. They also reassured me that I don't have to fight this genie by myself. They will try to help me. Even Clover was nice. I'm still skeptical about that Clover. She's awfully mean to me at times. But I do hope I can trust this party, because that genie is so powerful and so terrible. But after every meeting, I've noticed I get stronger and I learn more. But if it means that the genie has to do terrible things to me, I really don't want it to do any more terrible things. I don't want to learn more if it means it does these terrible things to me. Oh, I hope my party can help. But we will see what happens. I hope you keep joining me. It means a lot to me, especially when I have to meet this genie. I'll see you next time. Bye.